Thursday morning. Welcome to House of Prep. My name's Jerry, and it is definitely Thursday morning. I live here in Tennessee, just outside of Nashville. Now, I'm going to do something a little different today, but I still would like to hear some updates of stores. That's what we do every Thursday is we jump in the comments, and we kind of give a little update on our area. Maybe gas prices, if you've noticed a big fluctuation up or down in gas. Store prices, something new that went up. Maybe some shortages, maybe some of your favorite items are out of stock and have been now for maybe a month or two. Throw them in the comments. It's like to share, but always kind of just throw what state you're in at least, the area you live in, so folks can kind of know, or what country you're from, if you're from another country, which we have some of those as well. So I want to talk about when you squirrel away preps and supplies in your home. Now we talk about having a pantry and a second pantry. Now we also have our little hideaways, right? Our little places we squirrel away some extra food and maybe try to keep them out of sight, keep things from getting cluttered in our pantries. Now, I use plastic totes. Now, I want to go over a couple different ones. One that I filled full of light items. If you want to stick it away up high on a top shelf, you don't want to be loading tons of canned goods and heavy down your tote when you're trying to squirrel away some things. So the first thing that I have in a tote, and I'm going to show you two different styles, okay, of my totes. So I use some freeze-dried goods, and this is Mountain House. If I remember to do it, I'll throw a description in the video, and in the description, and also a link to Amazon so you can see and kind of see. Now they're a little bit pricey, and I'm also going to put a link for some AUGASON farms. I know a lot of you guys use AUGASON farms. I think you get them a little cheaper, a little bit better of value. These are super portable. They're handy. You can grab them and go, toss them into a backpack. They're easy to store. Look, freeze-dried stuff like these last for about 30 years. Okay, so 30 years, you're good to go. Now, I mean, if you're in your 70s or 80s, you might say, I don't foresee, needing to store something for 30 years. So you just kind of use your common sense, work with your budget. I just try to pick these up from time to time. You can get them in breakfast, like biscuits and gravy. I got the breakfast skillet, just different things. Lasagna is always a good go-to, and I just grab plenty of those. Beef stroganoff. I mean, they have really good varieties. I think you can get them in variety packs and things like that as well. And, chicken fried rice, chili mac with beef. So, right here in this bin that I have, I've got, I guess there's probably 16 of these. So if I had one a day, I mean, that's 16 days. That's, you're at half a month already. So it's real easy to, over time, you start filling up a bin, and before you know it, you've got half a month worth of freeze-dried, and that's not counting any of your other preps. So that's a good start, for one person having something to eat on. These feed, like if it's one person, I've eaten these before. I've done a demo with the lasagna one before, and it was really good. And it's on an older video. They're super easy to make. It says that it's a couple servings, but obviously if you're hungry, you can scarf down the whole thing. So it just depends on, you can stretch that into 2 meals. And if you have other preps, like I said, you can just kind of intertwine everything you got. So now with that being said on that, and you're trying to keep your tote light, if you have room at the top of your tote, just grab some of these small packs of toilet paper or even small packs of paper towels. So you're storing preps, but you're filling up empty space. I don't like storing lots of containers that has lots of empty space. I'm going to find little filler items to help fill up and create more room, okay? And you know what I'm talking about. All right, so let's talk about the Heavy Tote. Now, this would be one that you would want to keep on the bottom, and you're going to find out here real quick. I keep these, and I've dated them because you want to be able to have them dated so you can keep an eye on them. And you want to be able to, ooh, look at that ground beef, folks. Woo! So you want to be able to see, open them up, kind of see what you got, see, ballpark what the dates are. Keep organized. Make sure you're able to get to what you need, that you are able to rotate. Make it as simple for yourself as you can. Now, each one of these last, on the dates, they say 5 years, which I'm sure you can get more. I've seen people do it. You can get longer than 5 years. Just do the smell, taste, sight test, make sure they look good. And they have all kinds of different proteins, right? Ground beef. That's why I like the Keystone. They make them in water and some sea salt. There's no other preservatives, nothing else in it. They are fully cooked. If you see me do the demos on this with my kids this past year, then we ate some stuff right out of the can. Because you can. It doesn't taste as good because it's better when you heat it or thrown into something. But if in a pinch, if you needed to eat this in survival mode, you could eat it right out of a can. So 5 years is a good shelf life. And I try to keep the bigger, bulkier things like this out of my pantry because it's just so heavy and it just takes up so much space. And you can see just by adding enough here to kind of fill the screen that's a lot of weight. And I'm gonna stop right there and I'll just keep the rest of them off to the side. So that is a good foundational base you can start filling up with the bottom. Now it's gonna get heavy, so you're gonna have to be careful not to overdo what your lifting capabilities are. I'm not a doctor, so make sure you talk with your doctor on that. Now here's another good filler, MREs. Now, these are good. Again, a bunch of them, they start adding a little weight to them. Now, these, I hear, are around 10 years, average, 10 years. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, on that. But 10 years, MREs, I could just pile them up here. So, you get some MREs. Now, how do you get them? Now, you can buy them. What I recommend and what I did is you find a young man or young woman who's in the National Guard or in the military, somebody a neighbor, maybe a friend, family member, somebody from church, and say, hey, if they're in boot camp especially, and say, hey, do you guys have any more MREs? Sometimes they have them just laying around in their vehicle. They have so many MREs. And that's what, in my case, I had someone kindly donate some to me, and I didn't have to pay for them. And so that's a nice prep item that you can get for free at that point. And that's kind of what your goal is, as much as you can to save some money. And so MREs are a good storage item, something you can pack away. Now look, all this stuff you want to keep put in a cool, dark place. You don't want them out in the garage. You don't throw them out in a shed. But you do want to keep them inside some temperature, control. You don't want to just let the heat and all the sun and everything bake into this stuff. It's going to mess up all your preps. Again, these get heavy. Some big old bags of rice, big old bags of beans, okay? Now you can get some food grade buckets. Again, I always look for free. I get my food grade buckets from school, and either my wife's school or the one I work at, and we have some food grade buckets that if you want to, you can convert that and with some oxygen absorbers or whatever you use for your preps, and you can store some things a little more long term using food grade buckets. But again, it's heavy, so just be careful. For the sake of time, these are just extra little items. Now the shelf life on these obviously are not going to be as long as MREs or freeze-dried food. And these are obviously glass. So you have to be super careful when storing a bunch of extra types of sauces. Even if you're storing extra like pasta, okay? Because this stuff will break. If you're slinging this stuff around with a bunch of cans in it and stuff and you're dropping it, and before you know it, you just broke all your spaghetti, right? But it's super cheap. If you're just looking for an easy, cheap prep, where you can feed lots. Just what I have here on my table that I've only shown you so far. What are we into, for one person, for myself, we're definitely into the second month, right? If I had to ration out and eat this food. So you can see it doesn't take that long. You know, I have some more in a tote over here I hadn't pulled out. So if I had to ration this out for just one person, I'm easily going into the second month, no problem. And that's just with 2 totes. So that's not counting pantries, that's not counting freezer, your backup pantry, that's not counting your refrigerator, or any other little hideaways that you have. You can see how quick and how easy you can get emergency food put up for rainy days, for emergencies. So I hope that everyone out there is having a great week. It's almost over. We're at the end of the week, and tomorrow night, Friday night, we're doing the live. And we did one starting back up last Friday, and we're going to be live again this Friday. So I hope that you guys will be there. And like I said, jump in the comments, and also on the Amazon links. If you go over there and visit on the Amazon links through my link, any shopping you do, any of your Christmas shopping, I don't care if it's toys, movies, clothing items, anything you shop for and search for under my link, if you buy stuff there, I get a small kickback at House of Prep. So just figured if you don't mind, that's a free way doesn't cost you anything, and is a free way to kind of help out the channel. So y'all take care, and I will catch you guys tomorrow night. Bye.